Catch me in the Muni where the party at. Dog pound, turn up with the elf up on my starter cap. Brought him back, boy, we from the land and we proud of that. Louder man, front to the back, here we go, I got him shouting that. Here we go, brownies. Here we go. Here we go, brownies. Here we go, brownies. Stand up. Here we go, brownies. Let's go. Game on the line, Joe Thomas, I promise. Jim Brown running through opponents, how I got this. I return like Josh Cripps. Hand for the mini, got the dog pound jumping. Here we go, brownies. Here we go. Here we go, brownies. Here we go, brownies. Stand up. Here we go, brownies. Let's go.
Cleveland! This is for you!
Mr. Heroes turning 60. We're proud to have served your favorite cravings for 60 years in celebrating what we do best. Thanks, Ohio.
I crave a hero.
Welcome in, everybody, to a post-game edition of the Here We Go Brownies podcast. I'm Allie Ellery, coming at you live from Pensacola, Florida. And joined with me, as always, we've got Dustin out in beautiful Cleveland, Ohio. Dustin, the Browns come away with a win to wrap up the season. They beat the Bengals 20-18. Not only that, a rookie quarterback led them down to win the game. And not only that, Myles Garrett gets the sack record.
Can we make every game in 2026 like this? I mean, this game technically falls in 2026. So can we make every single game in the year 2026 enjoyable, winnable, game-winning type of drives? This game was weird to start, just to kind of get into it. 2 touchdowns by the defense today. Crazy. A 97-yard touchdown, obviously from Bush to kind of kick the things off. And let's give a shout out to Shelby Harris and Alex Wright getting their paw up in this football game on some key plays on Burrow passes to make some of these things happen. But the defense came to win today and came to win for Myles Garrett. Pretty exciting to see them carrying him. I mean, he's a big man. For them to see him carrying him off on the sideline, just carrying a guy off the field like that was pretty cool. And you could tell there was a lot of relief from him. One of my favorite moments from the game today was his dad. Like his dad was just being a kid, like at a middle school, high school football game, had the most expensive looking camera with the big lens, like just so proud of a moment. Yeah, like that's my boy out there, and I'm going to make sure I capture it. I thought that was so heartwarming to watch, like his family and his mom and dad there, just waiting to capture. And then he mentioned in the post game that he had a dream that he didn't break the sack record, and he woke up this morning. So I think that's kind of interesting. He was like, well, not going to let that dream come true. And boy, I think most Browns fans were kind of like 6 minutes left. Is this going to happen or not? And then he just got, which was a true sack. I mean, he got in there, got to him, wasn't assisted by anybody. It was just a pure sack by Myles Garrett, beating his opponent and getting to the quarterback.
Definitely. Really exciting day. There's a lot of speculation out there right now on the future of Kevin Stefanski, what this team is going to look like next year. We're not going to do that right now. We are just going to enjoy the win. We're going to have fun. It's the last post-game show of the season. Obviously, this is the last game for us. So we're just going to enjoy it. And I think that there's a world, like I said on Wednesday's show, where you can be kind of bummed that maybe the Browns have worse draft stock. But at the same time, you're in a position now where Myles holds the sack record. You're in a position where, maybe you have somebody at quarterback, and also you possibly have ruined the Steelers season. It is do or die for them tonight. And, I think we're all, even though this sounds funny to say, rooting for the Ravens to just absolutely ruin their day. And it's okay to be bummed that maybe they don't have the number 2 overall pick, but at the end of the day, they won their last 2 games. There's a lot of good energy right now about this team, and let's just enjoy that while we have it. We don't really get to do this a lot. So it's a lot of fun right now to get on here and talk about a really fun Browns win, Dustin.
Yeah, and let's break it down too. It's not hard. It's hard to win in this division, and to win back-to-back games against your division foe. That's a big deal. That's a big deal to win one on the road against future Hall of Fame quarterback. Well, let's just call it two future Hall of Fame quarterbacks to be able and go out and get wins like that is kind of when a team could have quit, I guess is where I'm going with this. This team could have packed it in and said, screw it. We're not going anywhere. We're eliminated from the playoffs and still fighting for each other. It says a lot about this team itself and these guys in the locker room. And what's interesting, this team's kind of interesting. There's a lot of rookies. I think I read today that maybe the Browns are first or second starting the most rookies in the NFL. So this is a very young team in a lot of ways that they're going to have to create their own identity going forward into 2026 and beyond. And they could have, this could be a good learning and growing curve for this football team. All these rookies will be, not rookies next year. Will probably be even better football players and be much more prepared for a season, been through it once as a rookie. Because, as a rookie, you're just kind of drinking from a fire hose anyway. You're going from college to the NFL. It's a totally different game in general. So it'll be interesting to see what these rookies do next year as they grow. I was excited to see Mason Graham progress over those last 6-7 games. He became much more confident as a player. And you just saw it, right? You just saw those things kind of develop. I saw some flashes of Bond, Isaiah Bond down the stretch here, why he was such a, the speed that he came with playing for Texas. So it'll be interesting to see where this team goes. Again, we don't know where the head coaching position is going to go at this point. We'll know a lot more tomorrow, probably, as Black Monday in the NFL kind of rears its ugly head. But this team has a lot to look forward to next year. But, one thing I like to point out is this quarterback, Shedeur Sanders. I mean, he came into the NFL prior to the draft he could be a pretty decent quarterback. And the fact that the last 7 games, this is kind of just says a lot about, I think, his toughness. 32nd ranked offensive line, 32nd ranked pass rush, 32nd ranked receiving core. I don't care who you're at quarterback. That's a lot to not be able to do much with, right? You're playing with the worst receiving. Your pass rush is horrible and your offensive line's horrible. And to be able to get wins is kind of remarkable, to be honest with you. I'm surprised they were able to even get wins in this last back half of the season, just based on what they had to work with. It wasn't much. The defense kept them in games. Obviously, we know that because they're, number 2 defense in the league. But it's just interesting to see where this team's going to go. And I'm assuming Andrew Berry's going to keep his job. So obviously he'll have a lot to work with going into the NFL draft.
Yeah, like I said, I don't really want to do that right now. I want to speculate on the future. We don't get to do a lot of post-game wins, so we'll just enjoy what we have right now. I want to give a shout out to our good friends over at Stadium Mustard, Lorello Vineyard, City Barbecue, Lady Caroline Cruise Ship, Greater Cleveland Aquarium, Weebleed, Ohio, and Lake Erie Distillery. All right, let's get into the box score here, just to see what the Browns did. The Browns offense was not great today. They've continued to not be great. But for a lot of reasons that you just explained, it's just continuous offensive line churn. Luke Whippler went out today. Zach Zinter came in, and it's, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that on Thursday's show. But the offense continues to just struggle and mightily. Shedeur Sanders, 11 for 22, 111 yards, sacked 6 times on the day. Just really, really tough day. Really wasn't able to get a lot going in terms of the rushing attack. Obviously, with that offensive line, Dylan Sampson, he was the leading rusher, 10 for outside of that, Shedeur Sanders had 3 carries for 26 yards. And then if you look at the receiving core, really tough day there too. The leading receiver was Cedric Tillman. He had 1 catch for 23 yards. Malachi Corley, 2 for 20. Jerry Jeudy had 2 for 17. Then outside of that, Travion Williams with 1 catch, 13 yards. Isaiah Bond, 1 catch. Just a tough day. Not able to really do anything downfield. They haven't really been able to do that all year. But to still be able to win that game and for Shedeur Sanders to drive the field at the end of the game and set up Andre Schmidt. Talk about that. That was awesome. First game of the season, obviously he missed that kick, kind of had a lot of pressure on him throughout the remainder of the season. So kind of poetic to come back in this game, week 18, have a winning field goal, which was inches away from being blocked. So that was really cool to see. Defensively, they held Joe Burrow, I say held, they didn't. 29 for 39 for 236. He had 3 touchdowns, 1 pick, sacked twice. But I mean, the defense played great. They were able to have 2 back-to-back scores. Chase Brown, 13 carries for 72. Samaje Perine, 8 for 42. Jamar Chase had a good day, 8 catches for 96. T. Higgins, 6 for 67. Chase Brown, 4 for 18. I mean, this is still a good Cincinnati Bengals offense, but today the Cleveland Browns defense was better.
Yeah, and if you look at the Cincinnati defense, they have played well when Joe Burrow has been this back half of the season when Joe Burrow has come back. The defense has played very well at home. So the fact that, that defense has played better with Joe Burrow back and stepped up. And, just to see again this game, I mean, if anybody would have told me that there would have been 2, a fumble and a pick for touchdowns in this game for the defense to start the game, I would have been like, that's crazy. And honestly, things that just don't normally happen, the fact that the Bengals missed 2 extra points in this football game. This is a kicker that a few years ago led the Bengals to the Super Bowl on his big kicks to get them to the Super Bowl. So you want to talk about a Schmidt versus a McPherson. I mean, you're looking at 2 kickers that have been at the height of their career and then, missed 2 easy extra points. I mean, it just goes to show you even some of the greats that have taken teams to the Super Bowl can miss extra points that should be just gimme points for a team. Hence why the Bengals had to go for 2 at the end of the game too, and they didn't get that 2, which ended up being a key for the Browns as well because they were able to go over the top with that field goal, which that would have obviously if they didn't get that, they would have tied the game and probably went into overtime. So.
Also, some unfortunate injuries today. Obviously, Denzel Ward went out. Tyson Campbell was banged up. We know that Luke Whippler was carted off. That just absolutely sucks. It's week 18, and, this game doesn't matter for the postseason. Obviously, you want to get these young guys reps. And then somebody that you basically thought was going to be pretty much a lock at starting next year on this offensive line is potentially going to miss a good chunk of it. So we'll talk with David more on that, the medical moment.
What was his injury, by the way?
I'm not sure off the top of my head. I
didn't hear either what it was, but I know he went off on a John Deere on a cart, which is never a good sign.
Not good. So that really sucks. That really sucks. But let's talk about Myles Garrett, Dustin. That was really cool. That was really cool to see. I know it was well into the game before it happened, but I highlighted this, or I screenshotted this. So the snaps required for each sack record. Myles Garrett, he obviously holds it, 23 sacks each snap. The snaps to get to that was 437. TJ Watt, 616, and Michael Strahan, 567. So just significantly fewer snaps than the other 2 to be able to get and break the record. So that's really cool to see. And I'm glad that it was against a divisional rival that it happened. Obviously, the Bengals were playing a lot like the Steelers today, not to that farthest extreme, but really trying to avoid that happening, and he was still able to do it. Really cool to see.
That's an interesting stat, Allie, because, a lot will be made or people will make, well, it was 17 games versus 16 games. Well, that kind of really is the proof in the pudding, in my opinion, when you say the amount of actual snaps it took you to get to that point. That's a significant number, 400 and some to 600. That's 437
to TJ Watt, 616, or Strahan, 567. So
we're talking hundreds. I mean, at least 100 snaps. Like, that's a lot of snaps.
Really cool. Really cool to see.
I mean, okay, that's a great stat because
some people are going to say, well, it took him another game. I don't care. I look at the pressure rates, look at the snap count. I don't care. Really cool to see. And
I think snap count is a real barometer.
Yeah, definitely.
Because that means the opportunities that you had from snap 1 to the snap at the end, how many snaps did it take you to get to that record, right? Like, to me, I think that really, to me, you could have had 14 games, but if it took you, less snaps, okay, whatever. But I think that's a truer number that he did it in 400 and some snaps, which is also incredibly crazy because I think there was a point where I think he went off the field for 1 play, and that's when Delper got the sack, and then he, that big sack, the that Delpa got for like an 8-yard loss, and then he came back in. He's like, all right, I'm coming back in because they got to throw the ball. So the fact that he's out there for like 99.9% of the game is also crazy to me, that he can have that kind of stamina as a player and play like that.
David just texted me and said that it was a knee injury for Luke Whippler. So we'll talk more about that.
That's not crazy bad. That's not, unless it's,
obviously depends what it is. We'll know more here in the
well, we know the doctor will definitely diagnose that and have the full breakdown for us on Thursday.
Yes, more to come on that. Also, want to give a shout out to our good friends over at We Bleed Ohio, Lake Erie Distillery, Mr. Hero, of course, Primetime Sports and Framing, Crystal John Tony, Southern Tier Brewery, as well as Original Steak and Hoagies. Excuse me. All right, let's get into our game balls. I mean, obviously it's Myles Garrett, right? He's getting the defensive game ball, not even a question. But to take it a step further, I mean, okay, we say obviously Myles Garrett, he got that sack, but when we really break down what happened defensively, Devin Bush was insane on the day. I mean, he had 14 total tackles, obviously the touchdown. Grant Delpit had a great day. He had 10 total tackles, 2 QB hits. Ronnie Hickman had a decent day. So, I know I just said obviously Myles Garrett because of that sack, but overall the defense was lights out. Devin Bush, man, he's going to get paid. He's a great great linebacker. Very happy to have him this season. Would hope to have him back. Jerome Baker, he was good. Rayshawn Jenkins. I mean, overall, just a really good performance by the defense. And that's saying something. You were missing Carson Swessinger out there, the signal caller on defense. So it was fun to watch.
Yeah, I think the fact that this team, the defense, still played at such a high level with players out. And we're talking key players out. That says a lot about the defense and just their level of play. It reminds me a lot in the past when we would talk about the Ravens being decimated with players, but that defense kept playing at such a high level. I kind of feel like that's how the Browns are. It's just the next man up, gets in there, makes his play. And you saw that from Devin Bush today, where he, was in the right place at the right time and making those plays. And that was crucial in this game. I would also like to give a couple shout outs to Alex Wright and Shelby Harris in this football game. I mean, they had their hand up in some key moments to knock those balls and deflect on those and create obviously what happened with Bush to be able to do that. Those guys in that interior part of that defensive line, just creating that kind of mess was key in this game. Really that bull rush in the middle where Shelby was able to get in there. And also Alex has been playing at such a high level. I mean, I'm excited to see what he can do next year coming back. But those two guys I'd like to give a couple shout outs to just because how well they played. And I will tell you, it was pretty cool when Myles got the sack record. I don't know if you saw it, but Shelby Harris went over and gave a high five to the ref, and the ref was excited too and gave a high five back. Like things you don't normally see, like players giving high fives to refs, because you kind of have to be a little impartial there. But in that moment, you could see even the refs were pretty excited to be a part of a football game like that.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, you saw Bengals fans that were excited about it. It was cool to see.
I'd say also in the Cavs game, they stopped and they showed Myles Garrett breaking the record. And of course, the Rocket Arena went crazy with showing that on the TV. Because, I mean, he is also a minority owner of the Cavaliers. So, of course,
Back to Alex Wright, I just want to say he's been such a bright spot on this defense. And one of, since the Browns have had Myles Garrett, Alex Wright is one of my favorite ends opposite Myles. He has just been insane. And I think that's a credit to this entire defensive line and a credit to Jim Schwartz and what he's able to do with this talent. Obviously, the interior is great. Mason Graham's just lights out and really allows these two defensive ends to just do what they're doing this season. And I mean, even look at what it's doing for the secondary. You've got a relatively decimated secondary, and they're still able to step up and perform. So just want to give him a shout out as well. Offensive game ball, really tough to say here. I think probably would have to go to Shedeur Sanders. He had 111 passing yards on the day, 26 rushing yards, obviously no touchdowns, but also no picks. Was able to lead the team down to get some points there at the end and put the thing away. But like I said, really tough day offensively. They weren't able to get much going. He was kind of running around for his life out there, not able to see a ton downfield. Didn't seem that there was a ton open. So I had to pick somebody on the offense, I'd probably go with Shador.
Yeah, I feel like I would be in the Shador camp as well. I will say the one thing that we're seeing more and more from Shador, just from being more comfortable at the speed of the game and reading defenses, I think what is really could be a real asset for Shador going forward with this football team is his legs. And of course, he doesn't have his dad's speed, with that. But man, I mean, he made some plays today where I know he got caught on a couple, but another one, he's getting 9 or 10 yards with his legs. So it makes defenses kind of have to put a little bit of a spy on him, because if it's not there, he'll go get you 7 or 8 yards downfield and slide, where, quarterbacks in the near future, the present couple years, I mean, I like to see that, like a little multi-dimensional type of quarterback. And so that was interesting to see today, where if it wasn't there, he would go ahead and go get it as well. I'm just seeing him growing in that space, where before he might take the sack, right? He might throw it away, but he was like, well, if they're going to give me 6 yards, I'm going to go take it. I'm going to go get it and try to get a first down. And then there were some just plays today from him. I think it was a 3rd and 10 was it to Bond? Or anyway, it was a key 3rd and 10 where he got a big first down where the guy just was all over him. And he fell to the ground with the ball being in play. Just those kind of things. And I think you alluded to it. 6 sacks on the game, 6 sacks on the day today. I mean, this guy in college and in the pros has had not much to keep him upright. And it's kind of crazy that in spite of that, he's still able to get the ball into playmakers' hands, which, by the way, I mean, if you looked at the roster out there, I mean, there was some stuff made of the game. They're like, some of the guys that he's throwing to are guys pulled up from the practice squad or third string that just aren't even, wouldn't be starters in most football games in the NFL. So The fact that he's done that's kind of crazy.
Definitely. Also, special teams game ball for me going to Andre Schmidt, 2 for 2 on field goals. I mean, his long on the day was 49, 2 for 2 extra points, and obviously the game winner. So just really cool to see the progression out of that guy as well. We talk about, Shador being a little bit more confident and seeing the field and doing things. I don't think Andre Schmidt's getting enough credit for what he's been able to do this season and kind of right the ship a little bit, if you will.
Well, I think if you look at what the Cleveland media and some others, there's a lot of apologists. They were even in my line of work, they were ready to run Schmidt out of town, and they've become the sorry, Schmidt, you are the man. Keep being our kicker for the Browns, because what he's been able to do from week 1, he's been nails ever since with this football team. So that has been a really good thing to see. And just to get back to Shador, I mean, think about today. He doesn't have Quinshon Judkins in this game that he can hand the ball off to or get screen passes to, or his number 1 target, Harold Fannin. I mean, you just take all that away from him in this football game, right? And that's kind of crazy that he's been able to work with that. So I just think that's –
if that one deep ball to Sal Cannella, yes, absolutely. That would have been a touchdown if it was Fannin or David Njoku. So
I agree with that. Yeah.
No, there you go.
Yeah. He's doing a lot with nothing. So it's kind of crazy.
Sure. All right, Dustin, any closing thoughts here as we wrap up?
Well, we won in 2026. So let's keep the winning going. Obviously, we will have a lot to unpack on Thursday. We will know if we have a new head coach or not, and a lot of things to talk about, including injuries that the doctor will talk about. And then, of course, it's crazy to think, but free agency is going to be right around the corner.
Yeah, a lot to come. Can't believe it's already the off season for us, and let's talk about it if I can imagine. But all right, Thank you everybody for tuning in. We appreciate you. Stay safe, stay healthy, and as always, Browns fans, go Browns.
Go Browns.